we can start with that story.
That's fine.
Yeah. So once upon a time, not a once upon a time. This was maybe 2 years ago. Got a piece of mail from a Ford dealer addressed to Edward Cree, C-R-E-E. My last name is not Cree, it's spelled X-U, and it was about my Ford Explorer that was due for.
Actually, please.
It was due for service.
Can you say your last name again? Please?
Yeah, nobody can say it.
No, I can't.
But it was like, I don't have Explorer. Nobody in my family has ever owned an Explorer. Why is it for service? What's going on? But then he likes to call me Cree because my name apparently is.
Now everybody knows the inside joke.
Yeah.
So tell us in the comments below if that was worth listening to.
So we're first time trying a podcast, and this is my podcast room, I guess. It's my office, which I use to edit videos, and we've got the mics, we've got the recorder, we have a TV, we have a Lego Bugatti. I'm the only one wearing headphones because I messed up. I thought you could record audio, you could hear it through each mic, so I need to get a splitter because it goes through the Zoom H6. I think levels are okay. I think everybody can hear.
Other than being left out of not wearing the headphones.
Yeah, I probably look foolish because I'm the only one. I have 4 pairs of headphones for everyone,
I kind of feel like I'm at like art class, to be honest. Like,
you're too far from your mic. You were talking
finger
closer to it
paintings
earlier.
today?
No painting. Okay.
No finger
All right.
painting?
What do we want to talk about? We want to talk about this, the GT500.
Talk about it.
Because you want to get one.
Yeah.
You just bought a previous gen GT500. And you are the biggest Ford fanboy I know right now. Like,
I mean, you could say that.
and you like Mopars.
I do not like Mopars. I own Mopars. There's a difference.
He doesn't do it by choice. Yeah.
So you just hate yourself every time you're driving your
Yeah, pretty
Hellcat
much. It's
and your
like-
Durango SRT.
It's like, wow, I made a bad decision.
Such a shame. No, I'm just trying to. When I think about the bang for the buck and what you can get at around, I think what would we say the starting price is around $72,000. What else do you have in that range with that kind of performance at that price point? And the answer is, off the top of my head, I can't think of many vehicles. I mean, it's just
The
big
easy-
bad American muscle. It's cool.
Corvette C8.
I know someone
A
at
used
home's,
C7Z06.
someone at home's like big turbo Civic,
Yeah.
10
Yeah.
grand.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Let's go. I could take that guy out of the quarter mile.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it'll be
exactly.
fine. Yeah. Right.
If we, okay, sure you can.
10
use
grand.
You have to enter your. Now everybody knows.
Which is, I guess
we're
we can
building
go
one?
in the configurator.
this.
So it starts at 70.
72.9.
Shout out Sam, you know.
Wait. The starting price is cheaper than the 350R.
That's interesting.
That's very interesting.
Not with dealer markup.
No.
Yeah, you got that $200K price tag on it.
Yeah.
Not so prime, honestly.
Yeah, so that's a controversial thing already right
Lord.
there, is the $10,000 painted stripe.
Yeah, that's new.
So what I've heard is they take the car off the line and they send it to a remote location that I don't think they disclose that publicly. But and then they have a company paint those stripes on there, and then they bring it back, and then it goes back on the line. But that process takes, it takes some effort.
Yeah.
So
Bro, oh my God, 18.5.
Yeah, that to me is pretty astounding.
Okay, but think about that. If you try to buy those individual carbon fiber wheels, I mean, you'd easily be paying what, 10, 15 grand.
That's
for
true,
them?
and I think
Did you just put toe mirrors on it?
yes, for some reason the configurator is not doing well for us.
I'm just trying
Look,
to
I'm a
fully, I'm trying to
dog.
fully
Interesting.
option it, so I'm just clicking random
Yeah.
things right now.
All right,
I
Mr.
was trying to make it
1500,
orange with
you're
blue
on-
stripes
right.
earlier, in case you didn't see that.
Orange with blue. Do they still allow that?
I don't know. It allowed
It worked
me.
for a little
So I
while.
put the, it looks like everything's included. All right, 106.
Yeah, but do you really need all that garbage on it? I mean, if
Garbage.
you're
18 grand carbon fiber. The carbon wheels are sick. Exposed
they
carbon
are
20 inch.
awesome, but the question is, do you
And
really
the
need them?
adjustable.
Go to the
right,
summary.
you know?
Yeah,
The adjustable.
Is this the
wing.
summary?
This is the
That's
summary.
pretty cool.
that is true.
Can you see like every option you put on it? Just
Right down to right here.
Yeah, there we go. Carbon fiber track pack, technology
The
pack.
two big ones are the 10 grand racing stripe and then carbon fiber track pack at 18.5.
Yeah.
That
It just
Okay,
depends on what you're.
but
trying
that's
to
a
do,
that's
though.
a Mustang EcoBoost in options.
Yeah, I know, but you have to remember, like, there's these realms of options that people don't even think about. A Ferrari 458, the rear diffuser on it in carbon fiber, $15,000.
Yeah, the sunroof, the giant panoramic roof on a GTC4 is 20 grand.
Yeah.
I mean, it's absurd.
Rosso
I think
Fielco is like a 30 grand
Pista
paint.
carbon wheels are probably double the package of the full carbon track pack.
Probably.
On that car.
Yeah,
So,
well, but that's
you
different.
get
That's
the-
a Ferrari. I'm not
Right.
cross
No,
shopping
but
a
you can't say
GT500 and a
it's
Ferrari.
just a Ferrari because the wheels are coming from the same supplier.
Yeah.
So this is a bargain. I'm not saying it's a bargain,
Same-
but I'm saying it's a better deal than if you were to go off and buy them, on your own. Or,
Yeah.
It just shows you how Ferrari screws you, kind of too.
Well, yeah, you got to pay the Ferrari tax, of course.
yeah, but
You know.
Which, yeah, when I first met Kent, he loved Ferrari so much.
I like them, yeah.
And now you've just become the biggest Ford fanboy.
Well, I still liked Ford at that time, and
So I'm most amazed that having owned 2 Fords and having experienced 4 engines in those 2 Fords, you still love the brand and you still would want to buy more of them.
yeah, because at the end of the day, it's the way the car makes me feel, and
Sad when it's at a dealership getting a new motor.
That's true, but when I'm driving it, like that GT350,
Yes.
there's no other car. Maybe the 911 GT3.
Yeah.
That's like the only other car.
Right, high revving.
Yeah.
High yeah.
But
high
it's
octane.
like that is such a visceral experience. I don't feel with many cars.
Yeah.
Like the R8, good example. Perfect car. It's literally does everything perfectly. It's a surgeon. Everything you ask it to do, it does.
it's just soulless.
But
You can't fall in love with it.
Exactly.
Yeah, the
That's
new
what I
gen.
like.
the GTR, Nissan GTR.
No, we're not getting
I
to
don't
that
know
yet.
about
No,
that. Yes,
no,
we
we're
are.
gonna. Everybody's gonna disagree with you on that one.
They're wrong. So.
But GT5. So you were thinking. So Preston has a Raptor right now. You wanted to trade it in for a GT500 in the spring.
Yeah, I just think that it would be a fun summer car to have, and like I said, I think for the price point, it offers a lot. You have 700 horsepower, 5.2 liter supercharged V8. I mean, where else are you getting that power in the price point? Like you said, I guess
Hellcat.
if you go use Z06.
Do you track? Are you
I
going to track?
may. Yeah,
You
I
may.
may. I haven't had a.
I feel like a lot of people
yeah.
will say that they
Yeah.
might track. Don't do it.
Yeah.
And we live in Michigan. We don't have great canyon roads.
Right.
A Hellcat is great for Michigan.
Well, we have 696 that we can take people
Yeah,
on.
that's,
But that's in
or the lodge.
That's in
You
that's
never
in
know
Oh,
about the
geez.
lodge.
Yeah, on the lodge, yeah.
that
That's
guy
right.
turned himself in. The Camaro dude.
Oh, did he really?
Yeah. He they found his mother.
Free my mans.
What did they do? Did they hold his? We have your mother.
No.
Please come in. Yeah.
He turned himself in. Don't do donuts on the freeway. That's kind of
What a fool.
crappy. Yeah.
That's what they do in the Bay Area all the time now.
But if you do, don't turn yourself in. That's the key.
I heard they do donuts during car week too, and it's very uncontroversial from what I understand.
Yeah, that was, remember Ocean Avenue?
Oh, that was
The next day they
awful.
shut down part of Ocean
9/11
Avenue.
that was doing it.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
But GT500, I mean, it's cool. I have been in an early production one, but I haven't been on one since I left
Yeah.
Ford.
Yeah.
You were talking about how it has the old headlights too.
I
so what do you
don't
think
like
about
that.
the design?
That
Yeah.
really frustrates me.
I like that. I'm
They're-
not a fan of. I mean, the new one is okay. It's catfishy, but this is definitely more aggressive.
I do like it more than the new one.
Yeah.
I think the new one's a little strange in the front. It looks narrower, even
But-
though it may not be. The front, to me, the fascia is kind of odd on the new
Yeah.
GT.
The
I don't
reason
like it
they
very much.
Too
kept-
slowed
Yeah, it is.
down
Yeah,
on those.
yeah.
Yeah.
From a development standpoint, because a lot of it was mid-cycle refresh money, they put it towards powertrain improvements. Like
Yeah.
your Raptor, the new F-150s have a completely new front end, so it no longer
Yeah.
aligns anymore. So it's very clearly not the high. It's not the same anymore. Like my Boss 302 looked, from certain key aspects, exactly the same as any V6 Mustang or Mustang GT.
That's true.
But now this is the whole gen older, and it no longer follows your family resemblance. It would be as if the new RS6 had my gen RS6 headlights or RS7 headlights, and the A7 was the new one, right? Wouldn't that be
Yeah.
weird? Or if a 488 Pista decided to have 458 headlights on it,
True.
that would be so weird. That's what annoys me.
Didn't they do it all for function though? Because I think I remember reading a couple
No.
articles about the intakes and so on, the cooling and so
I
on.
don't
is
think
why
so.
they use. I think
The
that's why they
packaging
use
of the
it.
headlight isn't that
Yeah.
big. They wide-bodied the car.
I mean,
It's wider.
in the
Yeah.
the bumper. Yeah.
Yeah, so they had that. They could redo stuff.
But
I-
imagine paying $2,000 a month for a Mustang.
Is that what
I'm sorry.
Let's come down to that.
I'm sorry. I just keep staring at it. I'm like,
that's true.
like that's just
Oh,
not
jeez.
like I don't know about that.
118. Yeah.
That's what 10 grand down. I mean, it's
The paint-
$106,000.
Okay, let's be
know
honest.
it is, but you
your
can get a
APR
Range
is
Rover.
6%.
Right.
So
The painted stripes are a gimmick too. You don't need those.
I mean,
You
it
don't
depends
need
on what you're
those.
trying to do.
Yeah.
90. Yeah, I mean,
But it's still a $90,000 Mustang at the end of the day. Like with a couple
Right,
options,
That's true.
like
Right.
you could buy a lot for $90K on the
here's
used
the
market,
thing.
100%.
That's
Yeah.
true.
comparing used and new is fun to talk about, but it's also slightly unfair.
It is
It is,
unfair.
because your apples and
It is
oranges.
That's
unfair.
why. That's why my argument is new, there's almost it pretty much is in a category.
I think
of its
the
own.
C8
That's my opinion.
I'm excited to drive one of those.
The 06 variant of that will be interesting.
Well,
Yes,
gonna be well
that's
over
going to be
100.
well
Yeah,
over.
it
100.
will be exactly,
Um,
and that I think goes to a testament to this.
Like, what
vehicle,
about
so.
like a wide body Challenger Red Eye?
Yeah, but
That's
It's like
800.
90.
That's not-
About 90.
except you
Yeah.
crash into a wall as soon as a corner comes
Listen,
up.
Mustangs have
honestly,
a way worse reputation.
honestly,
Well, with the live rear
Yeah,
axle, but
that is true. The 350R is the track car. This is
Yeah,
the straight line
100%.
car. There's
no,
doubt
but this
about
thing
that.
can handle
no, this
the track
this
too.
is the track
But
car now.
it is. It is more so than the old one.
I
The old
remember when I
yeah.
was I did a rotation of the police team, so we did a lot of track development at Granton Raceway.
Yeah.
And one day we were out working on the new F-150 hybrid the F-150 and the hybrid Fusion police cars. And Ford Performance also had shared the track rental with us, and they had GT500 prototypes ripping around, and they were literally just laughing. I was like, the speed differential seems unsafe. Those things are monsters. I remember once a 500 went out and a 350R. After like a lap, it had a good 30% of the lap
Yeah.
on it. It was a beast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And more so than anything, even talking about value, I just think that it's exciting to have an American vehicle that's sort of the full package now, because most of the old, the American muscle car used to be just sort of throw the big engine in it and just watch it go straight. But it's cool to see the engineering and the ingenuity behind and these cars are starting to keep up with the European counterparts.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Absolutely.
This thing absolutely
You're
hangs
beating
with it.
them.
Right. It hangs this isn't the laughable joke anymore that it used to be. This can hang with it like a Porsche.
It was
GT3
like
around the track.
less than a quarter second slower than a brand new Weissach RS.
Yeah.
It's
GT3
just absurd.
RS.
Well, I was lucky enough to go ride as a passenger in one of these cars, and when I got out of it, I mean, the shifts were so fast, it felt like the Porsche
Yeah.
PDK, and supposedly that was their benchmark
Right.
transmission. And I got out of it, and I thought to myself, like, it's a big V8, it feels big, and it reminded me of an S63. And a little, yeah, I know, it was the weirdest thing.
AMG S60?
Yeah. Just kind of like the bigger V8. I know it sounds a little bit weird, but it's something that I could see myself getting really comfortable in and just kind of like cruising around town and same
The
kind
really
of thing.
uncomfortable Recaros in it.
No, I thought it was pretty comfy.
Really?
I thought it wasn't bad
Damn.
at all. Yeah. So
That's cool though. I mean, it's
That's
supposed to be a
awesome.
cruiser too.
Yeah,
This
exactly.
is supposed to be like your livable kind of high horsepower car. I would drive it to work. Hell, I don't care
You should get one.
as long as it's the
You
summer.
have the
months.
Shelby GT500.
I would love one.
What year is your GT500? 14?
It's a 13. Yeah.
So that's the 662. First year to
Yes.
662.
Yes.
So what you've experienced between that car and this one, how different is it?
Oh,
Yeah, it's
they're
been- but
completely.
night and day, right?
It's probably
Yeah,
not even like...
the 13 GT500 is
Scared of corners.
yes, and
Right.
it's a muscle car of yesteryear that will never be again.
Yeah.
Like there will not be another company that says, yeah, this is safe. We can do this. Like we
Yeah.
can sell this to the public. Nobody's gonna do that anymore.
Yeah.
I just, whenever I get on the gas, it's like the back end snaps
I love
out,
that.
and it scares me because I see
Yeah.
all those videos online of people losing control because of live rear axle. I'm like,
Yeah.
if it's happening to all those people, like I'm probably not a good enough driver
Right.
to handle
Right.
it, you know.
Bring back the
So-
Viper. Bring back the Viper. And then,
R.I.P.
yeah.
Yeah. So
I kind of have a hunch they're gonna bring it back. I'm sorry.
I
But
hope
go
they
on.
do.
I bet you they'll bring it back.
I do.
Yeah.
I think they will.
They'll bring it back
Hellcat
as a
motor.
pure electric crossover.
Be
That
a
would-
V6 hybrid.
They'll follow
yeah.
the Mach-E.
That would be-
Right.
that would be
Hellcat
insane.
motor. They're throwing that Hellcat motor in everything. I think they bring it back with the Hellcat motor.
It's a great motor. It's a great platform.
They
to
got
start from,
one
but-
thing right, and they're just running with it.
That's
just like, you know what?
That and their
Throw it in
infotainment.
there.
That's it.
I'm waiting for the Pacifica.
Dude,
with
the infotainment.
the new Ram
Best
giant,
infotainment
oh,
system
so
you could
nice.
get.
Yeah.
Honestly,
I
that's
love
what-
that
Is
one.
it an updated Uconnect?
Yeah, it's
Yep.
the giant like.
It's the
I
new-
don't like
screen
the
integrated.
Uconnect. It was always really.
Uconnect is the best infotainment
It's
out there.
it's the
right now.
best. It's been rated
Yeah.
by CNET.
It makes my Ford Touch
Really?
look
Yeah, that's
like,
good.
or
I
whatever
don't know.
Sync 4 or
It
whatever.
was
on
mid
there.
2000s to me.
No, dude.
Yeah.
It's
the
so
new Uconnect
simple
is
though.
awesome.
That's the thing, because you could use it while you're driving. Like
The Audi MMI is pretty damn good too.
The
if
new
you know
double
how to
one
use
is
it.
yeah,
If you,
pretty
you
nice.
need to
Yeah,
like
it-
learn.
there's a
it's
learning curve.
Yeah.
Uconnect's
100%.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. GT500. I mean, I want to drive one. It
I need
sounds
to drive.
amazing.
You need to
It's
drive it,
fast as
yeah.
heck. It's insanely fast.
Yeah.
7-speed dual clutch is.
And people have been complaining about that. Oh, it doesn't come in a stick. It's so good.
But get the damn 350R if you want
exactly.
the stick. I'm tired of people saying,
That's so
"Oh
true.
my god, I need my
Yeah.
3 pedals." Just okay, you have another choice. It's right in the lineup.
There's
What's up?
multiple
Right.
forms you could choose
Exactly. I hate that. People will complain about anything with new cars. That's another thing nowadays. Is everybody just complains about everything when something new comes out, and then they end up scooping them up. Like I remember when the 992 came out. Oh, it's just so bulky. It's not a real 911, and then they're sold out. You know, it's just like they're selling so many of them like hotcakes. It's just.
I like the Recaros that have the white like contrast on them now. When I was on my wanting to buy a 350R kick, I wanted those. They were on the auto show car, the blue.
Yeah, I remember that.
I was like, can I get it embroidered?
Yeah.
Yeah, that looks really cool. It brings some contrast in.
Yeah, I think so. I like the orange with the white, and if you do white stripes, you get
like a creamsicle.
Yeah, exactly.
It is.
Dude, 106 grand. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's a lot.
How much was your car? How much was a 350R topped at like 74, 75
Can you
maybe?
do AC delete in this too? Do they let you do that? No.
I don't think so.
Because right now you have what, the tech pack, the carbon pack, and the
stripes are the main ones.
stripes.
That's
The stripes you do not need.
that's like 30 grand in
You
options
save 10
right there.
grand.
You could just wrap it.
Right.
Literally.
And it's cool to say that you have one or two men or whatever.
And what was the other thing?
ladies
Like people had
painting
like
that, but-
golden ticket allocations that like if you had this, you could option the stripes. It was like they were limiting it.
I didn't hear that about
There
that.
was something where only certain allocations were allowed to fully spec too.
Only
So
certain allocations
there were
could
different
pay
tiers.
$10,000.
Yes, there were different tiers of allocations from what I remember
sir.
reading.
Hand over your $10,000 check for stripes. Yeah.
It's these car companies doing a good job of making us beg them to take our money.
Yeah, you're
I
just
hate-
getting
I
hustled by.
It's
a car
like,
company.
please take my
That's-
$400,000 for
yeah,
my piece of
That's again partially why I moved away from loving Ferrari.
Now that's a
It's-
topic we can get into.
Yeah,
Yes.
but
Yeah.
with the experience with the Ford GT and all that, I'm not bitter.
Can
but
you
I
pull the
am.
Ferrari
yeah.
up?
Yeah.
But,
Pull the Ferrari
you know,
website up, please.
It is pretty phenomenal nowadays when you think about it.
Right.
I mean, I guess it's a testament to how good the economy is doing.
Yeah,
We're
the
talking
power
about-
of these brands.
We were talking about this
What's
earlier,
that?
that a brand can actually has to entice you to spend your $400,000, or rather, you have to be welcome to do so, even if you're doing it on your own volition.
Yeah,
You're being invited. Please, sir, we must
What's
select
happened?
you before you.
It's it's too many dollars chasing too few great cars.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
It is.
And honestly, a lot of
Ferrari.
Oh,
Publicly
Oh
traded.
yeah.
publicly
Public-
traded.
TTM.
If you guys want to buy some Ferrari, you can go and do that on E-Trade.
Yes.
race.
Get sponsored by E-Trade.
Your SUV is coming, sir.
Honestly, the person who names like their vehicles should get a huge raise because he's so
What?
creative. I'm being sarcastic.
Okay.
They just showed a picture of the A12 to a little kid.
La
What is this called?
Ferrari.
Super fast.
GTC4 Lusso.
T.
Yeah, exactly.
That one was. I liked it. In Michigan, living in Michigan, given my taste, I would take a GTC4 over a 488.
100%.
Yeah,
I agree
It's
with
more.
you.
I fit
Hands
better.
down.
It's more
Well,
comfortable.
I
It's a more comfortable car.
Yeah,
It's more of a
exactly.
GT
Just
car.
as
The
fast.
wheels stay
Yeah.
on, right? The wheels stay on, right?
Yeah.
The wheels almost came
Yes.
off on a 488 that you
No,
were.
no, it did come off. The first time I ever took my neighbor's 488 out, the rear wheel fell off while we were driving it, and it was the scariest thing. And
Don't let Kent drive your cars.
I remember the
Don't.
Snapchat.
Yeah, it's a bad idea.
Automatically break.
That was
Yes.
the learning experience.
You only need to engine out repairs when Kent gets in.
Yeah, I mean, you know. That's a funny thing, as I treated all my Fords well,
And you actually drive your cars. That's another thing.
but I
Most
don't
people don't drive
beat
them.
on them, you
Yeah.
know.
What about the Volvos?
Oh, the Volvos, I remember those.
He's a Volvo enthusiast. If you didn't know.
Oh,
It's a thing.
Hey, you know what? V60 Polestar. That's a sweet.
My
car.
first
Sweet.
car was an
It's-
XC90, like the
They're
V8.
sweet.
They were cool until the
Yeah.
alternator went out and everything failed on it, and I had to limp it home in third gear.
There was about 1x4.
My first car was a Mercury Villager.
Wow.
Yeah.
Minivan like.
Can I say something though? That kind of looks like the Aston.
It does. It's very. I mean, it's a Vantage.
Where does this fit though?
Yeah, exactly.
Like-
It's above the Portofino.
I think you're right.
It's a 2+2.
So the
coupe.
Portofino.
What does it start at though?
They needed something below the Portofino, I think.
The Portofino is
Ooh,
going to
that
exist along
interior,
with this. Then. Is
though.
that the plan?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah. But no, see, if this was in a convertible, this would be the car to get.
The Roma.
So Roma tomatoes. Did you guys see the key? Did you see the key for this thing?
No.
It's just a rectangle
Oh, I like that.
of the Ferrari badge.
Yeah.
And on the back, it's like covered in leather and has some buttons.
That's kind of cool.
So when you put it on the table and
What
you're
does this-
trying to impress
does it
the
say what it
waitress,
starts at?
Right.
it's very
I have
clear.
a Ferrari.
I have a Ferrari.
Yes.
I had
There
to-
another
I had-
Sambuca immediately.
You know how many people I had to beg to get this car? Please take my
I
money.
went through 3 sales managers and the owner of the dealer. No, this is the one they're trying to push on everybody.
Well,
This is-
yeah,
That's what the
exactly.
key fob
Yeah,
looks like
Absolutely.
That's kind of cheesy though. Honestly,
that's cool. It's something different.
it's different,
It's
but
better
like
than-
it looks like a lighter almost. Like
It does
to be
kinda look
honest,
kinda
When you
fake.
confuse your Zippo lighter with your
exactly.
key.
Well, remember the earlier key, actual insert keys? They were so sharp they would like cut you.
Oh, they would, and
Yeah.
if you touched it, if you touched the paint at all with those
Yeah.
keys, they would just shave
Yep.
off your
Yep.
paint.
I honestly thought this. Oops, talk to the mic. I honestly thought this made a little more sense if it was the new Maserati Gran Turismo.
Yeah.
Go down. Yeah, there we go.
They stole the design. The Maserati Gran Turismo can't be this anymore. So I don't know what the heck it's going to
Right.
be. Right?
This
Yeah, because right now they're using a 4C test mule. I've seen the
Really?
spy shot for the Maserati. It has the Alpha wheels on it. Have you seen it?
no, I remember
the
seeing
new
a camo.
Maserati
Gran
the
Turismo
mid-engine
replacement.
Yeah, it
Oh,
has
it's
sort
gonna
of
be
an
mid-engine?
Alpha look to it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's interesting. But
Yeah, Maserati needs that because
Yeah.
the Levante was a disappointment. I did
It
not
was.
like the Levante.
man, the Gran Turismo was
is
like
ancient.
They
keeps
still do
coming
they
back
still
from
build the Gran
I think
so.
Turismo?
finally done.
It's like
It's
has
Oh,
been
they
the
might have
same.
just.
It's
Oh, they
fine.
just did the final
Yeah.
edition.
Yeah.
They did like a cool paint job.
The interior's never changed
Yeah.
though
Oh,
within
I
the
know.
years.
No,
That's
they
nuts.
put a
Right.
Uconnect screen in it.
Yeah.
No
Does it
way.
still have the
It has a Maserati skin over it, so
the
That's so
9-digit
terrible.
phone call thing? so
no,
you
that's
can
it's a
make-
Uconnect screen.
Yeah, it's just
Oh, okay.
Wow.
So I
I
can't
didn't
make
know
my
that.
calls and type in the number directly from my Maserati.
That's a steal though, because you could get one of those for 50 grand,
Yeah.
60
Yeah,
grand.
like a.
It did need
It
to
still
go,
looks so good. It sounds so
Yeah.
good, but I've heard problems.
Yeah,
with
It was
those.
like the drunk guy that keeps coming to your house for the holiday party every year, and you're like, oh god, here he comes back again. It's like,
But he's
he
so
hasn't
much fun.
changed at all.
He's
still-
rowdy.
He's still drunk. He's wearing the same clothes. We need something else. We need to find somebody else for our company.
Yeah, it's good looking.
But
It
yeah,
is.
it's
yeah.
interesting.
I like it.
They are being criticized that it looks like an Aston, but you know,
Yeah.
what? I think it does look good.
They
That's
changed up the
okay.
taillight design completely
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
I like it. They're going back to the 4 taillights in the rear.
Yes.
It is.
I do
It is.
like
Int-
that.
it is like we said though. It is unfair to compare new and used. But would you rather have that, or would you rather have like a highly spec 488? I'd rather have the mid-engined, you know, sort of
Yeah.
hallmark car.
Talking to me, I'm taking a V12 GTC4
Yeah,
right now.
Over that too.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I
Yeah.
feel like
I
they
love the
brought
shooting
a lot
range.
of classic, like almost like pieces from like older Ferraris that they
Yeah.
like kind of put together and then created some almost like a mix mash, like kind of like almost puzzle that's not like fully created. But,
Yeah.
like,
You don't think?
I don't think
it's
it.
got
I
a-
think it needs more. Honestly, I think it's kind of boring.
It's a very
Personally?
simplistic design.
It's almost like Tesla simplistic
Yeah.
though. That's the thing.
Oh,
it's like,
yeah.
I don't know.
You're
It doesn't
right.
have a Ferrari like vibe to it.
It doesn't look like a Ferrari.
No, like if it went down the road, you'd be like, "Oh, that's a futuristic car,"
Yeah.
but like you're not like, "Whoa, that's a
Well,
Ferrari."
you know, it kind of reminds me of the Maserati Alfieri.
Yeah.
Literally,
Yeah. Yeah.
literally.
Yeah.
The
I remember
concept?
that
That's
one.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What if this was the ultimate, the final destination for that project?
See,
Wow.
that's why I thought that would have made
Oh
more
yeah.
sense.
there-
Yeah.
That
you're
makes
right about that,
sense.
yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
What if that? Yeah.
Honestly, I think that looks
That
better.
looks better.
It does. It does. Yeah.
I'll take that.
That's
yeah.
that's cool.
Sort of a shooting brake look to the back too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
interesting.
Which I like.
Like it has like the new Quattroporte
Oh.
lights in the back too, which are kind of interesting.
Yeah.
One of my friends got a SP1 Monza, and I was like, "Oh, is
So
it because
sweet.
you
That's
have no
awesome.
friends to ride along in your car with?" And he was like, "No, they'll just take the 812." I was
Yeah.
like, "Okay."
Oh, okay.
Sure, they're not
Yeah.
bad.
SF90 would be cool too.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's interesting.
That will require
Can you
some
press
begging.
it? Yeah.
for your-
It's
for your
not the
salesman.
the thing is, it's not a loft replacement. It sits between 812 and like loft
And
level.
it's not a limited production
No.
model, supposedly.
Yeah.
I mean, it'll be relatively rare, but
That back
It's like
end's
a
busy.
SVJ
It
level,
is.
essentially, like a competitor.
What do you
Yeah,
think?
probably.
There aren't many cars that sit in that $600,000-$700,000 range.
that's kind of a risky
SVJ.
move.
SVJ.
Yeah.
Because like 812 tops out at 4,500. Aventador S tops out there
Pista Spider.
That's
4,500.
Is it really?
You can't get. That's not up to. If you go maybe crazy tailor made, that's not.
Yeah.
That's not a $700,000 car.
Besides aftermarket.
Yeah, so it's like
Aftermarket.
SV90 or SV9.
Well, if you
SF90.
want
Market
to,
value,
if
I mean.
we can include used cars in this, right?
No, but that's unfair
No.
because certain ones appreciate and some
Okay.
certain ones
Because
depreciate.
for that price, I'd want a Carrera GT.
Yeah, 100%.
But that's
Me too.
But that's actually a decent deal on a Carrera GT
Yeah,
too,
yeah.
though.
Yeah.
That market's fluctuated a lot.
Yeah, no, it
softened
has.
a little bit actually.
Yeah. They came down to what, 500 a few years ago?
I think so.
Yeah, I remember like a Faience yellow one. I saw. I'm a big Renless person, and obviously they were over 1 million. Some of them.
Yeah.
And like 4,000 or 5,000 miles too. And this was a couple years ago, but yeah, they've softened a little bit.
That's a great car.
It's a good idea. It's a good time to come into one
Yeah.
if you have some cash, obviously. But
Yeah.
good
trying-
deal.
I don't know
But
how
that's
to...
truly the analog. Just
Yeah,
just
V10.
You're never gonna
yeah.
see that again. I mean, that's a dead product. But unfortunately, we need to see more cars like that. But,
You know, something that I kind of think that has that kind of spirit, not in the same sense of, you know, being super analog, but that same driving spirit is the new AMG Project 1.
That hasn't
think
existed yet.
hasn't existed yet, but I think that has the potential to be one of those cars people look back on, like the Carrera GT, and say, they did something really different here. They did something really cool.
Yeah.
And nobody's going to do it ever again.
I think the Valkyrie's going to take that more than the Project
What
One.
is so? Do you know much about the Valkyrie?
Yeah, it's the crazy high revving V12.
Curse system.
But
too,
what if
right?
it starts a new trend though too?
Well, okay,
could
so
start a
like I
whole
was
new
telling you at
trend.
dinner, last
That
I
would be
heard,
interesting.
the
No?
Project One is delayed because it can't pass the missions because it idles at like 5,000 RPM,
Yeah.
and allegedly because it's like an F1 drive motor, it's an engine rebuild after every 25,000 miles. Not that many of them will probably get there, but it's the idea. They're really trying to shove this F1 powertrain into a
No.
road car.
Supposedly it is an F1 engine. That's what Larry was telling me.
I mean, if it's
Oh,
revving
yeah.
at 5,000,
He said,
it sounds about
yeah,
right,
it's
to
a
be
straight
honest. Yeah,
F1
that's
engine.
What are the
crazy.
three? It's going to be the Project One, the Valkyrie, and then what's the third? Really, I thought somebody else was developing another like crazy road legal race car. Essentially.
There's the son of Valkyrie one, the Valhalla that they're coming out.
Yes,
with.
we
Yeah.
saw
So that will be
the.
interesting,
That's the
too.
clay model they had at the Aston Martin house. That
I
was
remember that.
really good looking.
Yeah.
And then the Vanquish is going mid-engine too.
Yeah.
So Aston's doing cool
You see,
stuff.
that's what I love Aston as a brand too, because
Yeah.
what's interesting is Mercedes can afford to undergo, go with a project like the Project One,
Mhm.
but Aston is this small in-house company. You know, they're not going to be making much money on those cars.
No.
It's all this kind of this seed money kind of small group putting.
They're
these type
doing
of cars
good though.
together.
I mean, the DBX is gonna sell like crazy.
It's gonna help them.
Yeah, like all the companies have started making SUVs. Rolls-Royce has had the Cullinan boosted them to the highest sales in company history.
Right.
Urus has like accounted for like 50% of Lambo sales. It's always crazy.
It's the SUV craze.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
saw 5 of them yesterday. I'm not even joking. I saw 5.
Were you
of
at
them by my
Syed's
house.
inventory?
No. I literally. I swear
He
to
has
God.
3 right
Does
now.
he?
Cars, I love
Yeah, but
They're awesome
we saw the
vehicles.
DBX, which is out now, which I think
That's
is
gonna
pretty
kill the
cool.
game.
it. That's a
Um,
beautiful
They are
vehicle.
giving Vantages away right now.
Yeah, I know.
I keep getting those Instagram ads for
Oh,
leases.
yeah.
I'm like, what did I
Wait,
do
what are
to
they
trigger
leasing?
these
I know.
ads?
Yeah.
What are they leasing for?
Like
for,
1,500 a month with like normal miles and
That's
like negligible
crazy.
down.
Yeah.
Like that's
crazy.
it's an Aston.
1,500. What was the Mustang? 1,800.
There you go. That's all you need to know.
Literally.
Yeah,
literally.
again not that I track all the time, but I'd take an Aston. The other thing, I personally don't have the balls or the wallet to track $100,000 car.
Yeah.
I
guess
just like
that's
people
true.
ask me like
And
you're gonna
ripping
track the
through
R8.
tires, too.
Until-
Unless, and then
scary.
I mean, obviously you'd have to get the insurance. That's going to be expensive.
Yeah.
I would much rather, and I think I told some of you guys before I bought the condo, I was really thinking about getting a C5 Z06 for like 20 grand, and then you can strip it out, do all the cool like
Yeah.
suspension mods and tires. Yeah, then that's a lot better to as a track car. And
Yeah,
like,
that's pretty. Yeah, I mean, if you're really going to be pushing it,
exactly,
that's probably
yeah,
the way to go.
yeah.
I would probably, if I owned a new one, I would probably take on some light days, just maybe some kind of
Yeah, here
brisk
and there.
laps,
Yeah.
but not.
Because
nothing
I would be
crazy.
scared if somebody else hit you or something. They'd be like, well, there's my
As long as you're
$100,000.
having fun.
Right.
you know
Plus
what I mean?
track insurance if you're really taking it seriously, because
Yeah.
obviously your regular coverage isn't going to help you with your $100,000 GT500 is now out the door when you put it into a retaining wall. But
You could always use the Detroit insurance. I don't know.
what is the Detroit insurance?
Detroit.
Just disappear.
So you're the reason why our insurance rates are so high. Yeah.
exactly.
That's why we pay so
Send
much.
it into the river.
Why, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not saying anything. I'm just inciting something.
I really let's go back to the Mustang.
You're in Vantage territory now.
Yeah. Take off the painted stripes. Take.
How does that number feel for you now?
It went down by like $100.
A month. That's a lot of money.
Eh.
You have to understand that
Oh my lord.
that's a lot of money.
Bro, that's a lot
per
of
month.
money.
I know that is a lot of money,
Yeah.
but getting
Bro,
100.
you have you literally have a 5.0 interior where you can have a Aston Martin with
But
quilted leather.
It
with
shares
really
the rotary
cool
shifter
quilted-
from the Ford GT/Ford Fusion.
Wow.
That is true.
Actually, recently I saw a GT40 test car off of I think it was Mound Road. It was kind of crazy.
GT40 test car?
GT
Ford GT.
was it a Ford GT test car? I don't know. It was
I
on my
mean,
story.
the
I forgot what it was.
GT40s finished testing in the 60s.
Oh well, somebody
They are-
They're bringing it back.
I came back from the past actually. So I went-
Oh my god.
I mean, to wrap up our discussion on is the
Mustang.
GT500 overrated? Performance-wise, no. For the money, it's insanely fast, insanely capable. It can keep up with supercars double to 3 times its money. It's got a great high-tech transmission, carbon fiber wheels.
You don't have to do as much begging to your salesman to get it.
Yeah,
You
it's
have to do
probably
some.
less. You don't need to buy
Right.
12 Ford Escapes to get one of
Out of
these.
10, what would you rate the GT500?
Objectively,
Give it an Eddie score.
Everyone
objectively, I give it
Tell
an 8
us
out of
about
10.
its about its.
What
Yeah.
about you, Kent?
I'd actually be right there too.
8 out of 10?
Yeah.
Yeah, 9.
Okay.
9. Okay. Well, my score is
Again,
about
none
a
of us are-
7.8, but
Well,
I'm
okay.
not a
I
Mustang
love it.
person.
But the thing is, I would take a 350R.
The
Because
cool factor is
I
an
want a
8.5.
manual.
though.
I want a manual and
Yeah.
a high revving.
Yep. And that's
Forced
why they're still
induction
building
dual
it.
clutch. They'll probably do more to get faster.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah,
It
it's
does
very
come down to
impressive.
what you're going to use it
Yeah,
for,
it's
too. If
gonna
this
be-
is like a primary, for me, it would be one of my only car driving
Yeah,
around. So.
but Ford knew
Yeah.
that it would be a toss-up between that car. That's why they're making it in conjunction.
it is.
Yeah,
cool
I
that
mean, they're
making
making
both.
Yeah, exactly. So
I need to go drive one.
yeah,
The headlights really bug me. It really irritates me.
You know what I did here that does bother me about it is I think the turn signals are incandescent too. I don't think they're LED. That's kind of. I forgot about that actually. So
That's pretty bad.
for $100,000, that's kind of a joke.
Wow.
But
Yeah,
it's
that was
you're-
like
you can get your Kia Soul or whatever for $25,000, and that has
my R8.
LED turn
R8 was
signals.
190 grand brand new. A bunch of almost everything was LED except the license plate bulbs were incandescent.
Really?
I was
Yeah.
like, what the heck?
Yeah,
Really,
they
guys?
missed
on the
it. Yeah.
new ones, they're not.
They're still- yeah.
They're not LEDs.
Cost savings, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a cool
No, they're
car.
not.
I don't
Yeah.
I
remember.
don't think so.
It sounds crazy cool. The carbon pack makes it look awesome. It is a little bit expensive.
It is expensive.
Yeah.
$100,000 for any car, you've got to be up there with performance,
Yeah.
which it is. So if you can rationalize it that way,
Because you get a used Cayman GT4 for less.
yeah, that's
Oh, here we go.
That's
On the used
a
again. We're on
bargain.
the
It's like
used.
half the
Yeah.
horsepower, but
Yeah.
if you're tracking
Yeah.
it,
Turbo Civic.
The key word is tracking it.
I
and
want
it's a track
3 Kia
vehicle.
Stingers. A fleet. We could just roll around
3
a fleet
Kia
Kia
Stingers.
Stingers.
Oh my God.
Because straight line,
Yeah, it can do everything.
it's
Yeah.
alright.
It can do. I mean, it'll drag strip. It's a 10-second car in the quarter. It'll lap tracks as
but
fast
so
as
is
RS's.
so is a 2015 Hellcat with just literally tires.
Yeah,
so
but
this is a 2020 Mustang.
Yeah,
It's going
yeah.
10.
I've heard it's kind of
Yeah.
heavy around the track though. Like you can
It
feel
is-
the weight.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, it just depends on what you're going for, I guess.
It's
but-
another thing. Like architecturally, at the end of the day, like you said, it's the same thing as a Mustang 5. You're starting off.
It's all the
You
same
can
thing.
redo suspension, you can redo
Yeah,
all that, but your
yeah.
geometry is stuck. Your body is
Well-
stuck. That's why the RS3 has an amazing powertrain. But at the end of the day, it's an A3, which at the end of the day
That's
is like
right.
Yeah.
a Volkswagen family vehicle,
Right.
Absolutely.
like modular. There's only so much you can do by putting carbon fiber and leather.
Exactly.
Like a RS5 is going to feel more premium.
Yeah.
But it's any of these high performance models that have the base models, they're gonna have that.
Well,
Correct.
look
Yeah.
what Corvette did. They realized they could not push the Z06 any further with
Right.
that setup with the
Front
front engine.
They
Yeah,
had to go rear.
They had to go mid. So
Apparently the C7,
Or mid,
ZR1 is a
excuse
little bit
me.
Yeah, no, you're
terrifying. Yeah, I mean Z06 is
that's gonna be an
tail
insane
happy.
car.
I
Okay.
don't think they're terrifying, to be honest. I liked it when I drove.
ZR1.
Yeah,
I
I
just
really
heard they're
enjoy it.
unmanageable.
I will.
I haven't driven one. I've driven a lot of time behind the C7 Z06, and I think it was fun.
The
though, so I mean,
The Viper guys are like unmanageable. Okay, you want to know unmanageable?
Right.
Oh, okay.
my
All
car
right.
burns me.
Let's wrap this up. I will get a headphone splitter so we can all use headphones. Still kind of figuring this out. Not sure how to go live on YouTube yet. Got to figure that out. Check out the Bugatti Chiron Lego time lapse build because that was a lot of fun. Thanks for Kent, Preston,
Thank
Tyler,
you.
at Kent of Kentington on Instagram,
Thanks for having
at
us.
P_KF,
That's right.
and then at Tyler
Something.
Hellcat. Is
Something.
that still you?
Ah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Whatever
so.
you want.
Whatever you want.
He
You
has
can
a
follow
purple
whoever.
Hellcat.
Actually, I shout this out to everybody. You follow anyone who you want. That's all I gotta say.
Just type in the first letter. Just type a letter and follow the
You
people
don't
that
need to
come
follow
up.
me.
All right, we'll do some more of these. I have some other ideas of things. Hope you guys enjoyed it. We'll
Hopefully
Have
this
a nice Sunday.
this waffle was somewhat educational.
we're talking.
Probably
it's
not
fun.
though.
It's fun. Like literally, it's been like almost 40 minutes, and
Yeah.
it felt like 5 minutes. When you talk about cars, it's enjoyable.
It is.
Hope people like listening to
It's
us.
such a
and
passion for
I
all
didn't
of us.
royally
so.
mess up this recording thing. Trying to monitor levels.
NPR.
All right.
Don't even start.
All right. See you guys. Goodbye.
Bye.